Hey guys, this is my revision to the BrewBakers review I did. Um, so as I mentioned before, BrewBakers is kind of like a fine dining pub type area, and it's located in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Um, I just wanted to redo this review because the quality of my other one was poor. Not that I probably can do much better in this, but I'm hoping to give a fairer and better review than I did last time, with that's more informative. And address some of the complaints people had given me about my other video. Now, I just wanted to mention too that I still am not a person without bias. I'm still going to be applying my bias to this review. Like I said before, I'm a person that has a great disdain or dislike for liquor in general. I understand I was in a pub, but I was there for my anniversary to do something for my wife because my wife enjoys liquor. I don't hold people back just because I have a different point of view. So it was our anniversary and I was trying to treat her. And I'm also someone that penny pinches. I watch my dollar close and I don't like spending money even on better quality. So, BrewBakers being a fine dining type area, you get way better quality for a higher dollar. So, another reason why I wasn't in a place I normally would go. So those biases are going to be affecting my review. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. But as long as we understand that, we can move forward together, and hopefully no one complains about that fact. Um, and I just wanted to mention, after I made my first one, which was a really bad one, I'm sorry that I'm bad at YouTube videos, but the owner, Andrew Dawson, had contacted me and said thank you, and he said he appreciated the video because he says often he doesn't get reviews that he feels are honest, and he thought my review, what he could digest, was an honest review, and he had sent me $150, just so everyone knows. And I want to be clear, this new review I'm doing isn't to make it better, like to give a better picture of his. I'm just trying to give him a more fair review, so there's more that he can digest from it. And I think at the end of this video, you'll actually see that that the score is still basically the same. Um, and he gave me that $150 after I made that video. Like, I didn't know about this ahead of time, didn't know the guy. So he's not buying any praise by any means. So I'll link my old video down below. And he told me when he gave me that $150 is that it was for me to go to other places in the city to review and to continue what I wanted to do. So that was very nice of him. Thank you, Andrew Dawson. And one final thing I want to point out before we go into the actual review is that you may think some of my points I mention about my review are unfair because they're things that they couldn't control, which I understand, but the way I view it is if it affects my experience in any way, I still have to mention it. So, to me, it's only fair then at least they're able to acknowledge the fact or realize the fact it's affecting them, or someone else goes, it will affect them. So things like parking downtown, that's not something really they can control, but you know what I mean? Well, I guess I could by choosing a new location, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm still going to mention things that affected me, my experience, even if they couldn't have controlled it. Anyways, thank you. So for accessibility, I would consider it a 2 out of 5. Despite what people told me, I found parking not favorable. There was large parking lots beside the restaurant, but there were signs that said "Do not park here," and signs of that sort. So I wasn't sure where to park, and the parking on the side of the street was filled. But they did inform me we were allowed to park there after 6, or at least they said that we should be fine, is what they said. They were careful not to say we could. They said we should be fine. And the other thing I want to point out about accessibility is you have to walk up some I'd consider fairly long staircases that were, or one staircase, sorry, that was narrow. So someone like in a wheelchair or something I don't think would be able to get up them, and if they did, it would be hard, and they need the assistance of others for sure. unless there's an elevator I wasn't aware of or something. That's the biggest thing about accessibility, I find, is it's not very accommodating to people with disabilities. The atmosphere I'd give a 4 out of 5 for. It was a very cozy and warm feeling atmosphere. They had a patio you could sit on at the time. No one was sitting on it, probably because it was chilly. And I really liked the open concept kitchen. I've always liked that in restaurants. That way you can like see what they're doing and stuff, and it doesn't make it look like you're just trying to critique them, but you're just more interested to see what they're doing. And yeah, so it makes you feel welcome to watch them. They also had nice candles and stuff on their tables, so I really enjoyed that. It had a really nice feeling to it. So the staff, I gave a review of 4 out of 5 for. And the reason is because the whole time we were there, they smiled, they seemed happy, they laughed with us, they kept asking us if we were enjoying ourselves, and they answered all questions I asked, although they weren't able to help us confirm that where we were parked outside was a great place to be parked. But they said we'd probably fine, but I noticed they were wary to say, like, yeah, you can definitely park there. So probably because they didn't know. But anyways, and that when I asked about liquor being in the food, they just more or less told me there probably wasn't any liquor in the food. Which I kind of wanted them to ask the chef or whatever, the cooks, to make sure that liquor didn't make its way in its food. I know it evaporates, but I didn't want any liquor contacting my food if possible. Not a big complaint. But yeah, they were really nice the whole time. So for options and variety, I gave it a 3 out of 5. Now the options for the main food and stuff and food in general was on the low to medium side, if you ask me. I didn't feel like there's a lot of variety or options for me to choose from, but it's a pub style fine dining area, and its orientation is around drinks, especially of the liquor nature. So I think it's more fair for me to give an opinion on that or weigh that into account. And there was quite a few drink options, more than I would have had the time or cared to look through. They had its own little booklet for drinks. So yeah, so that's why I consider it a 3 out of 5. So for the wait time, I considered it a 2.5. They had free bread within 10 minutes, but the Pepsi refill took a long time. It was about a 10-minute wait for when I asked for a refill until when I got it. To be fair, they were busy, but it was still quite a bit of time I had to wait for that refill. It was about 20 minutes for the appetizers, and about an hour-ish, maybe a little more, for the main food. So I personally felt it was quite a wait for the main food, but I guess we did have the appetizers fairly early on, but would have been nice to have a drink for more drinks, or the drinks to be faster, I guess, while we waited. So for presentation and I guess aesthetic looks and stuff, I gave it a 4 out of 5 for. There's not really much to say other than it just looked really well and it was presented very well. It looked like it was ready to be eaten, and yeah, I guess that's really all there is to say about that part. So portions, I would consider it a 2.5 out of 5. So the side dishes seemed very small to me, like very small portions. I understand they're side dishes, but like it was, I forget now, but I'll put up the receipt, but the ribs were something like $17 for 4 small ribs. I don't know, like it seemed really expensive to me. The main dishes did seem like they seemed above average to me, but a little more acceptable than the cost of the side dishes. But I am a naturally stingy person in general. So I didn't really care for the portion sizes so much. The salad was definitely big enough for me, I guess. But yeah, the side dishes were a little small, I think. So for taste, the food I would give a 4 out of 5 for. The food tasted really good, actually. I really enjoyed my food. My salad didn't have much dressing on it, though, at least not as much as I personally would have wanted. And there was no extra dressing given to me or anything like that. I presume that's so they can limit the amount of dressing you get, but I don't actually know. Um, and in regard to the ribs that we had, there was 4 ribs, and they tasted really good. And they were literally, the meat was fall off the bone. Like when I picked it up to try to eat it, the meat fell off before I could get it into my mouth, which I guess is a good thing. And finally, I'd like to mention that my wife didn't care for her main dish she ordered, um, although it wasn't to do with the quality. It was just something she didn't enjoy. So let's jump in. So I'll break this down into segments, and the first segment is going to be cost. So I gave cost a 2.5 out of 5. And the reason is because for me the cost was really high. Like I think it was around $87 or more. I'll post a picture in the video of the receipts. Everyone can see what I ordered. Mind you, we didn't have to get the 2 side dishes we got, so I guess that's something we can consider. Just to be clear, my evaluation of the cost is aside from quality and quantity. So it's literally just me saying it's a high figure that I dislike. So that may not come fair to everyone, but like I say, I weigh cost above a lot of things regardless of what I would get in return. But there was a few free pieces of bread, which I appreciated for an appetizer before. So based on my wife's overall experience, she'd say 2 out of 5. So my wife had ordered a meal that she didn't like, and it wasn't that it was a low quality, but it was something that she didn't like, so it's not really the restaurant's fault, but it did still lower her overall experience. And to top it off, when my wife was ordering her meal, I ordered my main, and she ordered a side for both of us, and then the waitress proceeded to ask if that's all she was ordering, or if she wanted the main dish. Now, I didn't think there was a problem with it, and the waitress seemed kind and nice, but my wife felt that that the waitress may have been implying that she got a lot to eat already and shouldn't order any more. So my wife felt embarrassed to order her own main dish. And my final category, which is called Other, it's really hard to fit most anything in here this time, but I'm hoping in future reviews there'll be stuff I can put into this, or I might have to eliminate it. But I guess the things I want to point out is that there was free bread appetizers that I liked. Another thing, I guess this may be more time related, but I seen others that had come in after us, ordered their food, and were served before us. It's not a big deal if their food was faster to make and stuff, but it does make you feel like you're forgotten a little bit. So that was one thing that we remembered from it. And finally, the other thing is too is their debit machines ask us right away if you want a tip. Like they have it right in front of you. And I know that's common in these kind of restaurant environments and stuff, and you're kind of expected to tip. I personally have opinions against that. I think that there shouldn't be asking to tip. I think that I don't know what the business BrewBakers pays their employees, but I'd like to think it pays them good enough they don't have to ask for tips. That if the customer felt like they wanted to leave a tip, they would be able to just offer it themselves or ask themselves if they could leave a tip. Or maybe when you open up the machine, it'll just be on the side that you could select a tip, not opening the tip thing right away. Maybe that's just a stupid gripe of mine. I mean, I tipped. I was going to tip anyways, but I don't know. It feels like it's forced on me a little bit, which makes it distasteful. Like I said, maybe that's mostly just a gripe of mine because I'm a penny pincher. So my closing thoughts, I guess the tallied score would be 33.5 out of 55. I still think that's a bad score, to be honest, but it is above 50%, so I guess that's something. I don't think I'm likely to return to BrewBakers anytime soon, but maybe in a year or two we'll go for an anniversary to kind of commemorate this moment, I guess, the fact that we went there before, and we had this experience that Andrew helped make better. I hope people will find this review more pleasant, a fairer, and better presented review. I know I'm not really good at this whole YouTube thing, so I'm hoping with time I'll improve. I know I say a lot, And and I hope people are better to understand where I'm coming from, and I hope Andrew is able to use this if he desires to look at his company to understand his own company better, and for others to know if it's something that they may consider. They don't have the same opinion as mine to be able to get something from what I'm saying, but if you are a person that's similar to me, then hopefully this will give you a fit to let you know if you want to go or not. I'm also want to say I'm interested to hear what people say about my review and stuff and what they think about my video. I know on Reddit there's been quite a bit of brutality kind of towards me in my past video, but I accept it as criticism that I should have done a better job to start with. I would remind people I'm new to this, so I'm hoping people will be a little bit calmer this time around on Reddit and hopefully try to understand where my review is coming from. But anyways, Andrew gave me that $150 to go do other places in Fredericton. So if anyone wants to suggest some places I can go to, I'm going to try to make that money last to get me to 4 different local places in here. Regardless, I'll still do another 4 reviews, even if it doesn't stretch out that far. But so suggest some places you think are good places to review, maybe even places you think I may like better, or suggest places you think I won't like, depending, I guess, on what you want me to say. Yeah, I'm sorry this video still lasted really long. I know the videos are supposed to be like 3 or 4 minutes long, and my last one was 6 minutes, and I think this is probably going to be like 12 minutes plus. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good day, and I hope this is an improvement. Even if you don't like this video, if you watch my other one, please let me know if this is an improvement. Have a good day, YouTube.